What's going on, everybody? It's your guy CG, Craig Green, once again with another edition of Falcons Daily. And we want to say thanks again for getting us over 400 subscribers. We are on the way to 500 subscribers. That is an amazing, amazing number. And thank you guys so much for tuning in and hitting the subscribe button. Make sure you tell all your friends, family, and all your Falcons family as well to tune in. And let's get this thing cracking. Today, guys, we're going to look at four more topics surrounding our Falcons and things I think are really important and interesting to talk about. First of which, let's take a look at what's in their wallets right now. We just saw the rookie class get signed. Everybody's in the building under contract, and the Falcons still have a little bit of change left in their pocket. They've got $5 million projected right now, and that's courtesy of Over the Cap. We're going to use their numbers for this topic. So with that $5 million, guys, what do you think the Falcons should do with it? Should they save it or should they spend it? When you look at the team and when you're looking around at their at the Falcons, you ask yourself what holes exist right now. The biggest glaring one to me is at center. I mean, you did bring Michael Gonzalez in to play center. You're going to convert him from a guard to a center, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Ryan Newsel is still not signed his deal with the Falcons. He is a restricted free agent, and right now, no indication as to when he's going to be back in the building. So, do you save or spend this $5 million? I mean, it all depends on who's out there and what you're looking for. And I think the Falcons could use a center. I think they could use a wide receiver and probably a linebacker. But can you get quality players with $5 million on your cap space? The first thing I would look at is that center position. And, you're looking at guys like David Andrews, Mitch Morse. Those are veteran players, but they commanded big salaries last year. I mean, looking at their average salary per year, David Andrews was getting over $6.5 million. Mitch Morse was getting over $5 million on average. That's your entire salary cap right there. So, and on top of the fact those guys are 30 years old plus, I think that rules them out for even being on the Falcons' radar outside of an emergency short-term situation. I think what you want with a center is someone to grow with your quarterback. I mean, that is the connection, the battery that's going to carry you forward for 16 games. It's a much stronger connection than a pitcher and a catcher would have in baseball because, again, remember, pitchers rotate every day. You've got a rotation of typically 4 to 5 starting pitchers and all your relief pitchers. So it's a lot different because Mike Penix is, everything going, as to plan will start all 17 games for Atlanta, and you're going to want a center who has a rapport and chemistry with our quarterback. So, who are the guys in our striking range in terms of money? I mean, Nick Harris from the Browns is one of them. He was averaging around $2.4 million, it's about $2.4 million last season. Outside of that, I mean, you've got other guys as well on the book. I mean, Tristan Colon is another player who's still a free agent, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals. He was averaging $1.75 million a year. That's a much more friendlier number if you're looking for a center that you want to bring in. But they're going to convert Gonzalez from left guard to center and see if that connection is going to work for the Falcons. So hopefully it does because we need to keep our quarterback upright. Right now, what's going on is the owners' meetings. Those are taking place right now. Some things have been voted on. We talked about the Olympics yesterday. How NFL players are now going to be permitted to play in that. Also, one big topic of discussion, probably the biggest topic of discussion in my eyes out there, is the tush push, and they're looking at a possible ban of the tush push. Or some of the Eagles fans call it, of course, the brotherly shove or whatever it may be. So, in your guys, tell me in the comments, or even tell me on my social media at Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G and the word sports. You guys tell me, do you think the tush push should be banned, the brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it? This proposal was brought to the table not once but twice by the Green Bay Packers. They are spearheading this movement to get the tush push banned, and they've asked some of the Eagles players. They're downplaying it. They've also looked into the numbers here, and we're going to look into some numbers that ESPN brought up. According to the ESPN numbers, their research, the tush push just in 2024 alone, that appeared in less than 0.3% of total plays last year. Despite that, the Eagles and the Buffalo Bills have run that play more than all the other teams. And again, remember Sean McDermott, former Eagles defensive coordinator, the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He came from Philadelphia and brought some of that style with him. Remember, LaShawn McCoy was one of his first pickups way back when he took over in Buffalo. Also, the two teams, the Eagles and the Bills, in the last 3 seasons have combined to run 163 of these tush-push plays. That's more than the other 30 teams combined, guys. More than the other 30 teams combined. The other 30 teams are lining up and either running a quarterback sneak or they're running some kind of short yardage play, or maybe even shotgun. I mean, it is 2025 and the NFL is weird, so we do have some shotgun plays with fourth and short yardage. But also, the Eagles and Bills converted on these tush pushes at a clip of 87%. They either got a touchdown or a first down on 87% of their attempts. I mean, we're literally talking 5 out of 6 times where it was successful. The other times wasn't successful. The only thing that I've ever really seen outside of, I've seen Tampa Bay stop the Eagles once running the tush push. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've seen every single Eagles game and every single snap when they line up in the short yardage, but more often than not, when I am watching the Eagles, because they are on national television a lot, because they are the featured 425 game quite a lot, what I've seen more often than not with them is that the only thing that stops them from converting is a pre-snap penalty to where they have to get out of that formation and kick the football or run something else. So when you're converting at an 87% clip on that play, and it basically feels like it's automatic. I mean, yeah, the Eagles aren't cheating. They're not cheating whatsoever. They found something that works, and they found a loophole in the rules. But when it's becoming something that's automatic and something that's becoming disinteresting to the game of football, I'm sure they're going to look at making a change. So I think, my opinion, what's going to happen and what I think they should do is allow quarterback sneaks to continue. However, you are no longer allowed to push a player from behind once the ball is snapped. I think that would be the best way to combat the rule. They'll still allow for a tush push, but turn it back into more of a quarterback sneak as opposed to a big rugby scrum where someone can just, where you can have, the biggest players just shove someone across the line. And other things they're talking about at the owners' meetings today is changes to the playoffs as well. What do you think about the current playoff format? Again, it is 7 teams that make it on each side. The number 1 team gets the first round bye. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are your division champions. 5, 6, and 7 are your wild cards. And the wild card teams always play on the road unless all the division champions are eliminated, which almost never really happens. So do you think the current playoff format should be changed to allow to reward teams who don't win their division but have a better record than a division champion? If you do that, you have to take away the divisions in and of itself. They should be, if you're going to do that, they should be divisions just in theory, or to just break up and to have geographical matchups to limit travel and to have a rotational schedule. But in its current format, you have to reward a division champion with the home game. Why should the Washington Commanders, for example, who couldn't overtake the Eagles for the NFC East, get a home game in the playoffs just because they had a better record than a division champion who may not have played as well during the season? And I understand, yeah, this team played better than this team, but again, under the current format, it should stay exactly how it is. If you're going to go to this, records matter over everything else, then you have to completely eliminate the divisions whatsoever and just go NFC, AFC, top 7 teams make it in on each side, and we're breaking up the matchups geographically every year. So again, I don't think anything should change. in and of itself. I don't want to see them reshuffling the deck after the first round either. I don't think that's fair as well, because then you're rewarding a team who did not win their division with a home game just because they had a better record than a division champion. Again, what's the purpose of the divisions if you're going to do that? Uh, Next thing, I think that the last topic for today I wanted to look at was the bye week. Guys, we're looking at week 5 bye this season. Not ideal. That's my thoughts on it. It's not an ideal bye week, especially right now when you're playing an extra game. You would like to see, I think, the bye week somewhere in the middle. It'd be kind of cool if the NFL could do something like that, where they could put everybody in a week 9 or week 10 bye, half the league off one week, half the league off the next week, and allow teams to have, for a league that wants parity and wants everybody to be competitive, giving teams early bye weeks like week 5 or 6 or 7 or 8. Five. Well, really, 8 is almost in the middle, but a week 5 bye week is, I think, way too early in my opinion. Even if it wasn't the Falcons, even if it was the Saints, I would still say it's too early for any team really. Um, when you look at the history of the bye week for the Falcons, when it going back to when we've started this 18-week format back in 2021, the first time around the Falcons had a week 6 bye. Again, not ideal, but they did come out of the bye and beat Miami on the road in 2022. Their bye week was week 14, much better bye week. They came out of the bye and lost at New Orleans. Then they beat New Orleans in 2023 at home after their week 11 bye. Last year we had a bye of week 12 and we lost at the Chargers after the bye week. This year again, week 5. So when you take it all together, I mean, we're averaging our average bye week is right there around week 10, and honestly, that's where the league should be anyway. Everyone in the NFL again should either have around a week 8, 9, 10, or 11 bye week. I mean, there's no real need to have one team play 4 straight games and then have a week off before they play 13 straight games. It's nonsensical to me. I know some of it has to do with the logistics of maybe stadiums and availability and all these other things, but I don't think there's a coach in the league that would want to have their team play 13 consecutive weeks and have an early off week. I just think right now they've got to, if you're going to change anything at the owners' meetings, don't change the playoff format, change the bye week format. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to cut it short right there. Again, follow me on social media, Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G and the word sports. We'll be back tomorrow with more Falcons Daily. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the new content. We'll be back with 4 more topics tomorrow. Until then, I'm your guy CG. Sayonara and buenos noches.